If you are on SNAP EBT, listen up. I have 3 news updates, including an important update about Social Security benefits for seniors. So let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about 10 big changes that are coming to SNAP benefits in 2025. And then there is a bill before Congress that is going to increase Social Security benefits for millions in 2025. The bill is set to pass the Senate soon. And so I want to give you an update on what that means. And then stay till the end of this video because I'm going to give you tips on how to increase your Social Security benefits. I know a lot of seniors are frustrated that they are only getting $23 in benefits, and I want to give you tips on how you can get more EBT food stamps benefits. So, if you're new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, because I want more people to be able to see this video and get this critical information. So, let's jump into the 10 changes to food stamps in 2025 that's going to affect the 42 million people on SNAP benefits. So, first of all, let's talk about maximum benefit amounts. So, the cost of living adjustment for food stamps was released, and it's going to affect everybody in the fact that you're going to get an increase in your food stamp benefits. How much you're going to get is what I want to focus on today. So, for a family of 4 in the lower 48 states and DC, you're going to get $975. If you live in Alaska, you're going to get $1,258 or 1,953, depending on where you live. If you live in Guam, 1,437, US Virgin Islands, 1,254. Hawaii is actually getting a decrease in benefit. That's been happening the last 2 years, and they're getting a family of 4. The maximum benefit is 1,723. Here's the full table. So next year, you are going to get an increase to $292 if you're applying by yourself. That's the maximum benefit. I want to emphasize that. And then household of 2, 536. Household of 3, 768. As you can see, household of 6 is $1,390. Now, obviously, Alaska and Hawaii have different benefit amounts because the cost of living there is higher. And so you have to look what you're going to get depending on your household size. And for Alaska, whether you live in a rural area or an urban area also determines how much you're going to get in benefits. Next, let's talk about how Social Security benefits are calculated. This is where a lot of people get confused and it causes a lot of heartache for people. So typically what happens is, in this example from the USDA, if your net income, which means that your gross income minus all the allowable deductions, is, let's say, $1,056, what they're going to do is that they're going to multiply that net income by 0.3, 30%. Why is that? Because the government estimates that if you're on low income, they estimate that typically low income households spend 30% of their income on food. And so they're assuming that whatever money you're making right now, your net income, you're going to spend 30% of that on food already. And then food stamps is supposed to supplement that. So whatever you receive in food stamps is to supplement what you're already spending from your income on food. And so once they take out that 0.3, which is 317, now they're going to look at the maximum benefit that your household size is supposed to receive. So in this case, a household of 4 is to receive a maximum benefit of $975. And so they'll take the maximum benefit, deduct it from how much you are supposed to be spending from your own income on food, which is 317, and then whatever is left is what you're going to get in benefit. So in this particular example, you're going to get $658 in SNAP benefits. So here's what happens with seniors. So let's say that as a senior, you are getting, let's say $1,000 in Social Security benefits as your net income, or maybe 1,200. And once they deduct everything, they arrive at $1,000 in benefit. And then they take they take out the 30%, and then you are left with 700 and something dollars, and then they then subtract that. The maximum benefit you can get as a single person is $292. So if you take the 292 and you subtract it from what you have left, you get a negative number. And so that is why a lot of seniors are not able to get benefits, because they make too much money to qualify for food stamps as a household of one. In this case, you have a household of four, and their net income is $1,056. And if you're a household of one and your net income is about the same, then it's harder for you to get benefits. So how can you get more benefits? You have to make sure that they're calculating your income correctly, and they're also taking the right deductions from your income. So stay till the end of this video. I'm going to explain how that works and how you can get more benefits and what deductions are allowable for you to get more benefits. The next change is that the gross income is going up. So if you live in the lower 48 and you're a single household, you have to make $1,632 or less to qualify for benefits. A household of four, $3,380. A household of six, $4,546 to qualify for benefits. That's the gross income. Then there is the net income. So as you can see here, there's different gross income for Alaska and Hawaii versus the lower 48, and DC and Guam and Virgin Islands have a separate income limit. And then your net income is your gross income minus all allowable deductions. And if you are not in a household with a senior or somebody on disability, you have to meet both the gross income and the net income to qualify for benefits. If you're in a household with a senior or someone on disability, you have a higher gross income, $2,071 for a single person and $2,811 for a couple. And obviously, Hawaii and Alaska have different income limits. Then there are asset limits. What are resource limits? Another change that is coming in 2025 is that the resource limit is going up. It means that you can have bank accounts up to $4,500 if you're a senior or a household with somebody that is disabled. And for everybody else, it's $3,000 in assets to qualify for food stamps. Now, here's the minimum benefit that a lot of people are upset about, which I agree with. It's very low. It's $23, and that is not changing. So the minimum food stamps benefit you can receive is not changing from 2023 to 2024 to 2025, even though inflation has gone up and stayed up. The government has not adjusted the minimum benefit. I don't know why. It does not make sense. I'm here to just report the facts to you. Now, let's talk about deductions. There's shelter deductions that are going up to $190 if you're household of 1, 2, and 3. And then the standard deduction is also going to $204 for a household of 1 to 3 persons. Here are the deductions. Standard deductions, $204 for a household of 1 to 3, $217 for a household of 4, $254 for a household of 5, and $291 for a household of 6 plus. It means that when you take your gross income, you have to take out this standard deduction. This applies to everybody. And then there are more deductions. There are extra excess shelter deductions for Alaska and Guam and Hawaii is different, but for the lower 48, it's $712. And then there's homeless shelter deductions, it's $190. And then obviously there are extra deductions for Hawaii and Alaska. Let's talk about work requirements. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions out there that people on food stamps, or majority of people on food stamps, are not working and that they're lazy and that they're just feeding off the government. And that is not true. You actually, if you're able-bodied adult, you need to work to get food stamps. Otherwise, you can only get food stamps for 3 months in 3 years. especially if you don't have dependents. So this idea that people getting food stamps are not working is definitely factually not correct. What is happening is that there are work requirements that you must meet, or you must register for work, and you cannot turn down work if you're offered, or voluntarily reduce your job hours or quit to continue to receive food stamps. The only people that are exempted from the work requirements are children, seniors, veterans, individuals experiencing homelessness, individuals aged 24 or younger in foster care on their 18th birthday, pregnant women, and people who are exempt for physical or mental health reasons. So if you're between 16 and 59 to get food stamps, you have to meet the work requirements. Otherwise, you're not getting benefits. And then if you're an adult without dependents, there's extra work requirements that just went up actually. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 54, you have to meet work requirements if you don't have dependents. The only people that are exempted are people who cannot work because of physical limitations, pregnant women, people who are experiencing homelessness, veterans, etc. So the next change that is coming in 2025 for food stamps, if you know somebody that has kids in school, pay attention. Summer EBT is now a permanent program, and that is staying, and more states are going to be added. There was 34 states that joined last year to give children $120 over the summer so that their parents can afford lunch food for them. And these are people who are on the school lunch program or the school breakfast program, and during the summer we're struggling. So this is a permanent program. It's called Summer EBT. So it is here to stay, and more states. I don't understand why every state has not signed up for this, because this is such a no-brainer. It's going to help a lot of kids. So this was a program that was launched, and it took in shape because of COVID, and a similar program that was used during COVID and was so successful that it became a permanent program. And it's going to help 29 million children across the United States during the summer months. So if you think your kid is eligible, or if you know somebody that you think should look into it, they should contact their school district, because they have information on how to qualify for summer EBT and get $120 per child for the entire summer months. Another change is that states are now getting serious about dealing with food stamp fraud. If you're on food stamps, you know fraud is an increasing, growing problem that has robbed people of their food stamps and is getting more sophisticated. And so what's happening is that states are issuing new EBT card. California just did it. I think New York is on the verge of doing it. And they include chip technology, just like your bank card, and it's designed to prevent fraud. So that's something you should pay attention to, because your state may be issuing new EBT card for you to basically to help you keep your food stamps and away from fraudsters. And then number 9, there's a lot of things in the news about fraud, food stamp fraud. Every time I turn around, there's a news about another state being victims. Alabama just lost like $5 million in food stamps fraud just in a few months. And so this is a growing problem, and I'm happy that states are paying attention to it. So the next thing is the harvest box. So this is a Trump idea. When Trump was in office the first time, he wanted to change food stamps from you being able to go buy your own food to then the government sending you a box of food each month. I think it's a terrible idea for a whole host of reasons, but let's dig into the idea. So basically, it's coming from this idea that people feel like if you are getting help from the government should decide what you should eat. And I know that people like to say people on food stamps are buying junk food and they're not buying healthy food. But there's been research that has shown that people on food stamps do not buy food any different from people that are not on food stamps. So it doesn't mean that people on food stamps buy extra junk food versus the regular population that are not on food stamps. So this idea that people on food stamps, the government should be able to send you a box of food they think you should be eating, has taken root because of this perception that people on food stamps don't deserve the money. And so the government should be able to just send you some canned food every month for you to eat because, if you need the help, then the government should decide what you should eat. So Trump came up with this idea. It didn't pass Congress. And now the idea is back in full force. So one of the changes that you should pay attention to is that the harvest box idea may come back. There's news articles that have come out that this is gaining steam. And it's part of the government's effort to cut food stamps. Right now, the Farm Bill has not been renewed in Congress, and the Farm Bill is the bill that authorizes food stamps policy for the next 5 years. It's included in the Farm Bill. And the reason why the Farm Bill has not been passed, among other things that it's going to benefit farmers, is because of food stamps. Congress is arguing over food stamps because Republicans want to cut $30 billion from food stamps over the next decade. And one of the ways they want to do that is this harvest box idea, where they think that they can ship you food every month and save the government money versus you going into the grocery store and buying the food that you like to eat. And there's resistance against this. I mean, some grocery stores are resisting, obviously, because a lot of grocery stores like Walmart make a lot of money from people using their food stamps at Walmart, etc. But the idea is terrible because people like different things. People have different allergies. People have different reactions to certain foods. And the idea that the government can decide that this is what you should eat and send you some canned meat every month and canned vegetables is just wrong. But that is where the thinking is. So I wanted to report that to you to stay ahead of that. On top of that, food stamps are part of the Department of Government Efficiency that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy wants to cut benefits, and they have their eyes set on cutting government programs, including food stamps, because they think there's a lot of waste in food stamps. And even though a lot of the stories about people selling their food stamps or people who should not go on food stamps getting food stamps, there's been a lot of data provided by the USDA that only 1%, less than 1% of food stamps are actually considered like waste, in terms of fraud. 99% of food stamps benefits go to the people who need it and deserve it, in terms of the fact that they have qualified, they're eligible, they need the help, and they meet the eligibility criteria. So this idea that there's massive waste in food stamps is false. And actually, food stamps is one of the government programs with the least amount of waste. So it will be interesting to see what they do with this, trying to cut government waste by focusing on the most vulnerable population who are barely getting any money anyway, and now they want to take more money away from them. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about possible cuts to food stamps in 2025? Do you think that the harvest box is a good idea? Would you rather get the harvest box every month shipped to you versus going to the grocery store and buying your own food? I want to hear from you in the comment section below. Next, let's talk about the Senate voting to expand Social Security benefits for millions. So this story is from CBS News. It's been going on for a while. I've been paying attention to it. And it's called the Social Security Fairness Act that could restore benefits for millions. And I'm really, really excited and hoping that the Senate will do the right thing and pass this bill. So what is this about? Well, it turns out that 2.8 million Americans are affected by two Social Security policies from the 1980s. These policies, the first one is the Windfall Elimination Provision, WEP, and the Government Pension Offset. And it mainly impacts public servants like teachers, firefighters, and other government workers. And it's supposed to eliminate double dipping in Social Security and government pensions. But they featured the story of Evelyn, 84-year-old former teacher and principal, who is working part-time at 84 years old. And I did a story recently about a lot of seniors going back to work because Social Security benefits are not enough and their pensions are not enough. This is an example of that kind of story where an 84-year-old is going back to work because she's not making enough to live on. So she's working at Dollar Tree part-time to make ends meet, and she cannot collect her late husband's Social Security benefits because of these two provisions. And it's estimated that she's lost $300,000 over this period because she cannot get this money. And this provision affects people who qualify for Social Security, but also receive a pension, a public pension. And it can reduce Social Security payment up to 50% of the pension value. And it applies in 24 states to public sector employees. It particularly impacts teachers in 13 states. And so it affects widows, widowers from getting their spouse's benefits. 83% of those are women that are impacted. And it can completely eliminate Social Security survivor benefits. So it can be really crushing when your spouse dies and you cannot get survivor benefits. It creates unexpected financial hardship for retirees because imagine this. You guys are on both incomes. Your spouse is collecting Social Security benefits, they die, and then you cannot get survivor benefits because of this provision. And all of a sudden, you're facing different financial reality. So over 457 million in improper benefits payment reported in 2022 as a result of that. So sometimes the government can go back and want to collect what they think you received that you did not deserve because of these provisions. So the Social Security Fairness Act aims to repeal both policies. The House passed it on November 12th, and the Senate is supposed to vote on it this week. And it's part of a bipartisan bill that is in front of Congress. But the current Congress is about to end. So this bill has to be passed ASAP, or it's going to be in limbo. And who knows what the next Congress is going to do. But it's going to cost money, $200 billion over the next 10 years. And here is the kicker. It could accelerate the Social Security fund depletion by 6 months. As you may know, by 2035, a portion of the Social Security fund is going to be depleted if nothing is done, which means that if you retire at that time, you will not get all the Social Security benefits you're eligible for. Studies show that you probably get 75%. So that's a serious, serious problem that needs to be addressed. So what do you think of the Social Security bill? Do you think they should pass the Social Security Fairness Act? Do you think the Senate should act on it? What about the concern that is going to deplete the Social Security fund 6 months earlier? Is that a concern of yours? And is that a good reason to not pass this bill? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe, please join, and hit the like button because we want to share this information with as many people as possible. And then lastly, let's talk about the problem that a lot of seniors are having getting $23 in Social Security benefit in food stamps benefits. So food stamps is to help you buy food to meet your nutrition needs. And a lot of seniors are getting frustrated because they are only getting $23, and that is change. I mean, how much is $23 going to buy? Well, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to qualify for more money. And primarily is because maybe you are not getting all the expenses that you need deducted from your income. And so let's look at that. So if you are a senior and you're single and you're 60 plus, your eligibility income limit is 2,071. If you're a couple, it's 2,811 versus the regular population where it's $1,632 or 2,215. So the rules make it possible for seniors to actually, it gives you a higher chance to qualify for food stamps. So why the lower benefits then? Well, part of the reason is that the gross income limit for seniors is higher, but then the deductions that seniors get to take, some don't get all of it taken. And so that affects how much benefits you're going to get. So let's look at that. So first, you have to know the asset limit. You can have up to $4,500. Actually, that has been updated recently. So you can have up to $4,500 to qualify for food stamps. And so when you apply, you have to make sure that all the deductions are being taken out, including your medical expenses. And let's look at the kind of medical expenses that are deductible: prescription medications, doctor visits, medical equipment, and health insurance premiums. And then if you are denied benefits, you have the right to appeal 90 days after you're denied benefits, or if you don't agree with how much benefits they have approved you for, you can appeal. And you have 90 days to do that. And there are a lot of organizations that can help you apply for food stamps or appeal. So your local food bank, the local area aging, area center for aging, all those organizations can help you. Even some hospitals now have food stamps offices to help seniors apply for food stamps. So if you need help, even your legal aid office, your local legal aid office can help you with resources on how to maximize your food stamps benefit. So reach out to them, but at best, if you are sitting there and you feel like I only got $23, I need my food stamps relooked at, contact your caseworker and tell the caseworker, look, I want to make sure that you've taken all my deductions. So I'm going to bring you all my expenses for the month so that you can make sure that you have looked at everything that could possibly be deducted and make sure that it has been deducted, including medical expenses, housing costs, dependent care, if you're caring for a dependent, etc. So gather all your bills, request a review of your food stamps at your local office to make sure that all things have been deducted. And as I mentioned, there are local agencies that can help you and help you get the maximum benefit you can get. So this is what I wanted to share with you to make sure that you know what you're eligible for and understand how food stamps are calculated so that you can get maximum benefit. But there are other nutrition assistance programs that you may be eligible for that you may not know about. So let's talk about it. The first one is the Seniors Farmers Market Nutrition Program. It offers vouchers to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables, and the vouchers are accepted at farmers market, roadside stands, and community farms. There's income eligibility. You have to make 185% of the federal poverty level or lower to qualify. Visit the website on the screen for details. The next program is the Community Supplemental Food Program. It gives you monthly, basically they mail you a box of food, just like the Harvest Box, and it helps combat food insecurity among low-income seniors who are 60 plus. There is an income limit, but it's 130% of the federal poverty level, and the food distribution is managed by local USDA agencies. So contact your local USDA office or go to the website on the screen. And then there is Double Up Food Box. It doubles your grocery shopping at some farmers markets and grocery stores when you buy produce, fresh fruits and vegetables. If you buy $20 fresh fruits and vegetables, you get double the amount. This program has 900 locations across the country. If you haven't participated, this is great, because if you're only getting $23 in food stamps, you can go to a local place that is participating in this program and get double your food stamps benefits in fresh produce. And that is just a no-brainer. So go to their website at doubleupamerica.org, find your state, and then see the list of locations in your area. So what do you think about these SNAP benefit ideas that I've shared? Are you going to go and get your SNAP reviewed? Do you think you're receiving what you are eligible for? Or do you think there's a chance that you could get more if you have your case reviewed? I want you to tell me in the comment section below. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so that more people will see this video. And if you have any questions at all, ask in the comment section below. So until I see you in the next video, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.